أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. My dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all. Welcome back to our program MTA Kids Time here in MTA International Gambia Studio. I am your host or presenter, Syed Samboso. And in this episode, we will want to discuss on a very essential topic that is regarding the education of girls. Of course, education of everybody is important because Islam has made it obligatory and compulsory for both male and female to be educated. But we are focusing on the education of girls for a particular reason. So it is also in this book, as we already mentioned, book for children, the title, The Kindness of the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam for Children. So without wasting much time, we start the program with the recitation from the Holy Quran by our brother Nuruddin. Please give us the recitation.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. Translation. In the name of Allah, the Gracious, the Merciful, say I seek refuge in the Lord of the dawn, from the evil of which he had created, and from the evil of the night when it overspreads, and from the evil of those who blow into knots to undo them, and from the evil of the envier when he envies.
Thank you very much. So we proceed straight to our topic of discussion today. As I said, we are talking about education of girls. But why we are not saying education of boys? Maybe are we trying to be gender biased? No. So we are talking about education of girls for a particular purpose. And as we go into it, we will be able to know why we choose this very important topic. So as I said, we are continuing from that book, that is the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Kindness for Children, and it was in a form of dialogue sort of, where children were narrating and they are learning. So it says, Maryam stood up and said, in that book I'm quoting, say, I would like to say something about the education of girls. Listen attentively. The Holy Prophet Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has laid great stress on the education of girls. He emphasized so much on the importance of the education of girls. He instructed Muslims to make sure that they receive a good education. He instructed every single follower of his to make sure that girls receive good education. Not only to go and be educated, but they have to have the perfect or the best education, and they have to acquire as much as possible. In this way, not only will they become good mothers and bring up their children in the best possible manner, but also being educated, they will be able to contribute more to the society. In a society where women are illiterate, rarely progresses. That's the fact. In a society where women are not educated, they are illiterate, that society will find it very difficult to progress. I'm not saying they don't progress, but compared to a society where women are educated, you can see that the society where women are educated will have the greater advantage of progressing. So he says something. He says when girls' children are educated, or girls are educated, they will be good mothers tomorrow. They will be able to train their children properly tomorrow, and they will be a source of blessing for the society, and they will contribute to the development of the society. These are three important things that I mentioned here. become good mothers, able to have the method of training your children properly, and then also become an asset to the society. She said, acting upon these sayings of the Holy Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, my mother's father made sure that my mother received a good education, both academic as well as religious. That means, as Muslims, we should not only say that we have to learn our religion only. No. Both religion and secular is important in this world. And that's why we pray. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina azaban nar. Allah give us the good of this world and the good of the hereafter. So anything that is good in this world, we are asking Allah Almighty to give us. And to have secular knowledge in this world, it will pave a lot of ways for you to have the goods of this world. You understand? So that is also important. See, as a result, she excels most of her male colleagues in her work. Because of my father, he said, my mother's father understood the teaching of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why he took it upon himself and make sure that my mother is educated and achieve excellent education, and he surpasses most of his colleagues. So that's very important. Not only to learn, but to achieve excellence in your education, both secular and religious knowledge. Therefore, she advised, we should be grateful to the Holy Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who instructed Muslims to educate their daughters. Before in Arabia, it was not happening. Before, women were not valued, were not respected, were not honored, were seen as properties, a mere property, used and thrown. But as a result of the appearance, the advent of our beloved Master Muhammad, Khairul Alameen, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all these beautiful teachings were brought, and then women and girls start enjoying the privilege of education. May peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. As a result of this, it is incumbent upon all of us to pray for the Holy Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Another boy said, he raised his hand and he said, Miss, he asked, you know, we have been emphasizing on the girls' education. Does it mean that the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not in favor of boys' education? Is that the case here? It's not the case. Somebody might hear it, oh, the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was only in favor of girls' education. Why? No. The Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, remember, he have said, Talabul ilmi faridatun ala kulli muslimin wa muslima. Seeking knowledge is incumbent upon every Muslim man and woman. So it's equal important. But as I said, the reason why he keep on emphasizing on girls' education is because girls were not privileged to be educated. Only boys go to school. So he has to come and emphasize on girls' education also. Because for boys' education, that was ongoing. So no, he said no, that is not the case. The Holy Prophet lived in a society where women were looked up and down. This is the reason he emphasized on this. They had no status in the society. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam of Islam therefore emphasized the education of the girls. This is the only reason he emphasized the education of the girls, because his society where he lived was that women were looked down upon, and then the society, the women were not given their right. They have no status and value. That's why he said the education of boys is just as important as that of girls. I already told you now the reason. Laila also raised her hand and she said, Miss, I come from Afghanistan. There was a time when the government did not allow girls' education in school. As I was saying, some even countries still now, they have this concept. Maybe educating girls is a waste of time. Sometimes some even people say it's a waste of money. All they should do, they should go and get married. They don't need to be educated. This is not the instruction of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Girls have equal right when it comes to education as boys have. You understand? So this one was narrating that in Afghanistan there was a time government bans education of girls and the girls' school were closed. The instruction of the Holy Prophet that acquisition of knowledge is obligatory upon every Muslim, male and female, was completely ignored. Of course, whosoever does that, you cannot say that you are following Islam. That is completely and totally against the teaching of Islam. Then Miss Michelle also said, I know that seeking of knowledge is considered to be a religious obligation in Islam. This is a very important topic indeed. If someone else wants to contribute something, please do so. That was the end of the dialogue. So you see how education of girls is important. And what's the reason why the Holy Prophet keep on emphasizing the education of girls? Not because he preferred them to be educated more than boys, but rather girls were not privileged to be educated and they were not given the right to be educated. Just even now, some places think that educating a girl child is a waste of time, it's a waste of money. This is completely against the teaching of Islam. Then Zoya said, my Sunday school teacher has told us a saying of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, that he is reported to have said, no gift among all the gifts of a father to his child is better than education. No gift. So that's the greatest gift, that one of the greatest gifts a father can have, that is to educate his girl child. Teach your children good morals, good behaviors, and teach them religion. That's the greatest gift, one of the greatest gifts a father can give to his child. So that is very important, a girl child. So therefore, let us not think only boys should be educated. This is not the teaching of Islam. So before we come to wrap up the topic we are discussing, I would like us to hear an extract or a saying of Hazrat Khalifatul Masih V, may Allah be his helper, from Sister Zainab. Please read that portion for us on this very important topic. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Please let's listen attentively and we hear the wordings of our beloved Khalifa, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih V. May Allah be his helper.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hazrat Khalifatul Masih the fifth, may Allah be his helper, said, the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave special attention and consideration to women's education, drawing attention to women's education. The Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam also said that half of the religion should be learned from Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha. Here the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has not stayed for women alone to acquire this education, but rather he has given advice in general to attain knowledge of half of the religion from her. Hence at time Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anhu will even take class from behind a curtain, and she will impart her knowledge and teaching at gardens which men will also attend.
Jazakumullah. That is the extract from the saying of Hazrat Khalifatul Masih V, may Allah be his helper. This is all about the importance of girls' education. He said, you can see the beautiful quality of Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha, Mu'minin, that is the wife of our beloved Master Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that one can learn half of religion, the religion from Hazrat Aisha, half of Islam. You can learn it from Hazrat Aisha. Do you think that if she was not educated, you can able to learn half of religion from Aisha? It's a lady teaching men. Sometime she will be having a lecture in gathering, but there will be a barrier. She will be in the other side and the men will be at the other side, and she will be lecturing them because of her education. If she was not educated, will she be able to do so? So therefore it's important. And because of her knowledge, her education, many people learn Islam from her. Because the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam will not be there forever. Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha lived at least for many years after the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for a few years after the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So within that period of time, people learn a lot from Hazrat Aisha. So therefore, girl education is very, very important, as equal to that of boys' education. Thank you very much for participation. This is what time allowed us. We come to the end of another program. Now, inshallah, in our next episode, we will continue from the same book. Jazakumullah. Viewers, this is what time allowed us. We have come to the end of another episode. We are talking about the importance of girl education and why did the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam emphasize on girl education. We said the answer is he was in a society where where women were not given their right of education. So he has to come and emphasize on that so that people will understand that education of girls and boys is equally important. Until we come on your way here in MTA International Gambia Studio, I am your host, Said Sambaso. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
There is no God but Allah. There is no God but Allah. There is no God but Allah. Muhammad is his messenger.